SuperBooth 2025 is in full swing, and Team B&H is here on the ground to bring the excitement of this one-of-a-kind gathering of minds, music, and technology to you wherever you might be watching from. This year's edition has been rich in announcements and new releases, so I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of the things we thought you might find interesting, and also of a few things that caught my eye. So let's go take a look. I began this tour by taking a walk in the woods to Korg Berlin to check out the production model of the Phase 8 they had on display, and of course, I had to give it a spin. The Phase 8 is Korg Berlin's experimental acoustic synth, and after several years of development and prototyping, the company announced that the synth is finally moving into production and that the Phase 8 should hit the shelves early 2026. Now, I'm really glad I tried the Phase 8 before I recorded this video, because though I had listened to it online and thought I had a good idea of what to expect, I was instantly captured by this strange and absolutely hypnotic instrument. The Phase 8 gives a whole new meaning to interacting with a synth. Of course, you can use the note triggers and the knobs of the instrument like you would with a traditional synth, but you can and are in fact encouraged to alter the resonance of the resonators with wood, stone, paper, whatever inspires you. And I can tell you from experience that that was one of the funnest part of testing this unit. This means that on top of the note triggers, you can play the Phase 8 by hitting the resonators with your fingers and with metal or wooden sticks, and explore the resonance induced by acoustic synthesis. The Phase 8 also features envelope and velocity controls for each of its 8 voices, wave shaping, tremolo, and an 8-step polyphonic sequencer with quantization and drift control to induce rhythmic variations live. In summary, this thing is super cool, and I bet you that as soon as they hit the shelves, you'll see them pop out on stages everywhere. We will actually have the honor of visiting the Korg Berlin offices this week for a tour of the space and a conversation with Tatsuya Takahashi, or Tats, the lead engineer on the project, about the Phase 8, Korg Berlin, and the future of acoustic synthesis. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when this video drops. In the meantime, let's continue exploring. Not far from Korg's cabin in the woods, I found the Create Audio tent in a field nearby. And since they recently announced 2 new products, I figured I'd pop my head in and take a look. And I wasn't disappointed. Boomchick is a small analog drum machine with a huge sound that features 5 analog drum voices built around a 6-channel 64-step sequencer. These voices include a powerful kick and snare, 2 drum channels that can generate all sorts of sounds ranging from toms, claps, cymbals, and I quote from the creators here, sounds from space and outer space, and 1 hi-hat voice for open and closed hats. The 6-channel 64-step sequencer is complemented with performance effects like step shift, rolls, chants, and more, and the unit can save up to 16 songs for live performances. Boomchick is modular friendly with individual drum trigger inputs and individual drums outputs, and is also MIDI compatible. And talking about the individual drum outputs, you've probably already noticed that the outputs of this Boomchick are patched into the inputs of this assembler up here. Assembler is a synth-focused analog audio mixer that aims to bring the warmth of classic analog audio mixers to a portable unit that also provides tools necessary for a contemporary workflow. So Assembler is actually 2 things in one. A very capable mixer for both live and studio sessions, but also a sound shaping tool in its own right that you can use to give character to your jams. Assembler features a total of 10 audio inputs, 2 complex mono channels with vintage-inspired EQ, 4 standard audio channels, and 2 stereo channels. Assembler also features 3 mono pulse fader aux send and 2 stereo aux returns and 1 mono aux return. Alright, so this is it for Boomchick and Assembler by Create Audio. I'm gonna take my little microphone and walk around and see if I see anything else that's exciting. After my outdoor adventures, it was time to head back inside to pay a visit to a synth I've been meaning to meet in person for a while. The Artemis by Dreadbox. The Artemis builds on the success of its predecessor, the really cool Nymph, but with significant upgrades to the concept. Because of these upgrades, the Artemis is slightly bigger, but the look of the unit is a clear indication of the DNA it shares with Dreadbox's previous model, and this unit also features a display for parameter information, which is a nice touch. Artemis is a 6-voice polyphonic synth and features 2 VCOs with wave shaping, pulse width modulation and FM, as well as a synced subwave and a noise generator. Artemis is equipped with an amazing sounding low-pass resonant filter that can be switched from between 12 and 24 dB slopes, and which also features keyboard tracking, drive control, and oscillator and noise FM. Artemis also has a high-pass filter and a dedicated envelope for the amp and the filter cutoff, and 2 poly multi-shape LFOs with BPM sync, fade-in, and cross-mode controlling. Another big upgrade is the preset memory, which has been upped to 640 presets organized in 10 banks of 64 presets. The Artemis also has 4 onboard effects that can be used at the same time, including reverb, 2 types of distortions, modulation effects including chorus and ensemble, and delay. And if that's not enough, Artemis is also equipped with a polyphonic sequencer and arpeggiator, and it is MP compatible, so you'll be able to use it with your MP controller of choice. So that's the Artemis by Dreadbox in a nutshell, and I really love this little synth. It packs a punch feature-wise, and for 6 analog voices of polyphony, it doesn't break the bank. And most importantly, it sounds great. Next up, I went to the Novation booth where they're showing the brand new Launch Control XL3, a creative control surface that aims to provide hands-on controls of DAWs, software and hardware synths and effects with or without a computer via MIDI I/O or MIDI over USB. The Launch Control integrates seamlessly with all major DAWs like Ableton, Logic, FL Studio and Cubase, but it is also a customization powerhouse, and you can easily map parameters from any software synth, effect or MIDI-enabled device to any of the 24 endless encoder or one of the 8 faders available on the front panel. So for instance, you can use the Launch Control XL as a traditional mixer with level control assigned to the faders and the knobs above mapped to pan and EQ controls, or you could map the key parameters of your favorite software synth to the knobs to interact with it with physical controls. The XL3 also features a newly added OLED display and dedicated transport controls to play, stop, and start recordings, as well as ARM, solo, or mute a track, so you can ditch the mouse and keyboard when working on your music and focus on your creativity. And it also has 16 buttons that can be used as track selectors, but you can also opt to assign them to any parameter of your choice. For connectivity, the Launch Control XL features a USB-C port, 5-pin MIDI in, out, and out 2/through, so you'll be able to connect all your MIDI-compatible gear and use the Launch Control for production, but also for doorless jams. Novation is also showing a special edition of the Bass Station 2 wrapped into a skin inspired by the legendary graphic designer Ian Swifty Swift, which brings back the sound of this crowd's favorite, but also adds a new sound pack to the exciting library of the Bass Station 2 with patches created by various artists. For my last stop, I decided to venture in the modular universe to check out a couple of modules I was curious about, because after all, SuperBooth. Which led me to the Intellijel booth. They announced 5 products at the show, and you probably won't find much info about them online since they were prototyped until the big reveal yesterday. So get the scoop here on the B&H Pro Audio YouTube channel, or of course on the SuperBooth show floor. Let's begin with the mic module, which is 2 HP, so super compact, and it has MEMS mic technology in it, like a phone mic with a really nice flat response, so a nice utility module. Then they have the Swells module, which is a 20 HP comprehensive reverb module with 9 original algorithms, and it has an integrated envelope follower that lets you modulate all the parameters in real time. They also have a new stereo filter called Scoops, which is a combination of a low and a high pass filter that can also be switched to a quad bandpass mode, and it has skew to offset the stereo image, so pretty cool. Lastly, they have the Jelly Mix, a compact stereo mixer with 5 stereo channels, 2 stereo aux sends per channel, tilt EQ, and a master filter section. And with this, we sadly come to the end of our coverage of SuperBooth 2025. It was such a fun time being here for the first time. I'm filled with synths and music and great people that I met here, and now I'm just sad that I'm gonna have to wait until the next SuperBooth for a year. But anyways, B&H will be back. I hope you enjoyed our coverage of SuperBooth 2025, and we'll see you in Berlin in 2026.